Okay, so this is a video on how to use the PTO and hook lift equipment on a Scania hook lift. The VDL equipment. Okay, so with the engine running and the air pressure built up and in the green, we're going to depress the clutch and operate the PTO switch, and then allow the clutch to come out, and the equipment should now be active. And that's shown by this little symbol here which shows the PTO is engaged. Obviously we've got our handbrake on, gears in neutral. So you can do this in reverse, but at the moment the body's off, so we're going to use this joystick here. Pushing that forwards, that's lifting the container onto the lorry. Now, importantly, you want to make sure that the runners of the container, you can see at the moment we're on a slight angle, so what we want to do is straighten up so that the container comes onto the lorry straight. Okay, now when you put the vehicle in gear, it is possible that a PTO can disengage, so simply switch it back off and back on. The PTO should be back engaged. Now if we have a look, the container's nice and straight behind us, so we're going to continue pulling the container on. Okay, if you've got a really heavy container, you can take the handbrake of the truck off and you can pull the lorry underneath the container. So you've got to be careful you don't do this on a hill, because obviously the lorry will just start to run away down the hill. So we're going to have a go now. You've got the handbrake off, and as you can see we're pulling the lorry ever so slightly under the container, and now because we're on a hill we started to just, not really very heavy this container, so we're starting to drift a little bit forwards. So I'm going to reapply the handbrake, making sure that the runners of the container are going to land nicely in between the rear runners of the truck. You don't want to continue without straightening up if the runners are going to land outside the runners on the truck, because you risk losing the container off the side of the truck, and that's not going to be good. If it's a heavy enough container you could overturn the truck. So for your first few times, just leave it at idle speed, nice and slowly. And you can see that the container's coming on now. I'm still using this joystick here. Okay. Until the container sits nicely down on the bed. Perfect. And now using this joystick, we're going to bring the container forwards up towards the cab. Okay, and that's the container on now. On really all modern hook lift equipment we have some locks which engage at the back. So this is to lock the container on at the rear. You can hear that. And that's to unlock the container. And when it's unlocked, this red light illuminates here. So we'll lock it back on. These two buttons here are for the net net system arms, and they pretty much extend outwards to put the net over or come back in when you're traveling. So I'll just jump out and we'll switch the PTO off. PTO should always be switched off when you're traveling. PTO light's gone out, and I'll show you the locks at the rear of the container, and we just check that the container's on properly. So you can see the container's sat nicely where it's supposed to be, and the locks have engaged. Sat nicely between the rollers on the rear. We'll check that the locks are engaged on this side, and that's it, good to go.